Good morning, this is Angela Thoma with Dogwood Paper Arts. Welcome back to my little studio in Sweet Home, Oregon. So good to have you all with me today. Hello new subscribers and welcome, welcome, welcome. We are working on our favorite recipes journal, and I have some other subscribers that have been subscribers, and I want to welcome them all back too. And boy, I have come up with an idea that I just fell in love with over the weekend. And anyway, so we'll get right to it here, but I did want to say I am so sorry I didn't get a video out this morning. We had some of our kids come over and stay with us because they had been out of power. And they were freezing cold and just wanted to come home and get warm. So we let them come on in, and then our son got quite sick. He got food poisoning from a restaurant that they stopped at on the way here. And anyway, he's doing much better and he is fine now, but it was quite an interesting 1:30 in the morning with our son, and he's 38, and was extremely sick from a food he ate. So hopefully he will remember to report that to the Health Bureau or whoever we report to. I don't remember, but it definitely needs to be reported. So okay, well, let's get right to it, and I want to show you what I came up with. Let's move that aside. So the signature is in here, and this is going to be a signature cover. It is using an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, which looks like this. And it's just any color will do. I just had this kind of a brownish color that I used to use in newsletters and stuff. And I am just going to use that in the center. So on the front of it here, I took one of the pieces out of that, the panel. This panel. It's all cut up now, but this is the panel. Let me back out a little bit. So here's one of the panel. And I cut out a couple of different ones for the next two, because like I said, I have 3 signatures in mine. And then I use this kind of a cross stitch, and my stitching's not great. This is sewn on the sewing machine, and it's just a cross stitch that is on my machine. I don't know if I have one on this machine over here. Let me peek really quick. I don't, so I won't be able to sew it on this machine in front of you. I will have to sew off camera. So this is what the stitch looks like. Can you see that okay? Yeah, and I stitched around the whole thing, and I'll show you here. And I stitched in here. I think my camera's up there a little crooked. I bumped it this weekend. Sent it wildly crazy all over the area up there. It was like somebody in a swing. I added pockets down here. They're nice firm pockets. And I need to set my timer. So I used the same cardstock under these that I used. Okay, I'm set. That I used on inside, in between the fabrics and under here, because I wanted it to be kind of a stiff. I want my signatures to be a little bit stiff, and I want them to have a little added weight to keep them a little bit flatter. What else did I do? On the back panel, I made this pocket. I'm going to show you how to do that. And I use this other hole punch. I don't know, can you see that? It's like a package hole punch. I use that on here for my tab. Here. Worked out perfect. So I have another one here. And I, on this one, did it my usual way. And I just put a piece of paper along here and left an opening for the tab to slot into. This was my pocket that I practiced on first. But it's nice and big. This side glues down, so it didn't matter that this was upside down. What mattered was that on this side, it all became upright. So, I got that. And I forgot to ink it, so I'll probably have to go back and do that. So, I guess that's all there is to tell you about it. Now we need to make the other two. And then I'll sew offline and come back to you. So let's start with what needs to dry the most. And that would be the cover and the inside. Now what I did for the cover was I took this glue stick. It's supposed to be able to hold fabric. Not that it really matters, but it does hold down the fabric. I don't know if it's forever, but we're going to be sewing on it. So I just need it to be temporary. I have my crease in here so that I can fold this up. Maybe we better fold it right now and be sure I have it in the right spot. That would be important. Yeah, see, it was off a little bit, and we don't want it even off a little bit when we go to put our book together. We want it to be, well, if it's off a tiny bit, that's okay, because mine will be. But we don't want it off so much that it, so on the outside, that's where your mountain comes up. Not a valley, it's a mountain. So what I did was, am I on camera? On or off camera? I went around this fairly close to the edge. I'm going to let it dry before I sew. The reason I wanted to use the glue stick was so that if I got this on there wrong, the fabric down wrong, I could pull it back up easily. So that was my point. Now this time I am going to put a little more glue along the spine edge because I had some problems with that on the original one I did. Okay. Now I cut these pretty darn close. So let's start up here at the top. Ooh, this fabric drives your eyes. It's absolutely wild. Ah! It's gonna stick all over it. It did before too. Just gotta bunch it up a little bit here. And first you just want to get it down where it needs to start. Then once you get it on there, you can stretch it to fit if you cut it a little close like I did. But you don't want to pull it so tight that it bows your paper. Now what I would do is go ahead and get the wrinkles out of your fabric. And if you do get a wrinkle, just pull it up and pull it back down. The little wrinkles aren't going to hurt it really. That might be a little too hard on it. Now see, I'm off right here. So I'm going to pull that up a little bit. And I am going to stretch it to fit. You don't want to stretch it too far. If it's just a tiny little bit, it should be okay. We just don't want to make this bow. And hopefully I didn't do that to it. Okay, now I'm going to put a little more Fabri-Tac right there to hold that because I did have to pull it. And I do want it to hold. Now let's do the inside. And on the inside I picked this fabric, the gray, because I did want to use it since I bought it. And if it doesn't line up, that's okay. I go back and trim it when it's all sewn. So once again, I want to get enough Fabri-Tac here in the spine. This is, I'll show you on the original where I had the problem. But I also came up with a solution for it, so it worked out okay. And I will show you the solution. This is a little more glue than I wanted to use, but seeing how I had to pull that other one up so many times, I thought maybe I'd better give this one a little extra glue. Oh, there you go. Gotta wipe the glue off my fingers, otherwise I'll just be stuck to the fabric. Okay. Going to bunch that up a little bit here. Sorry if my head is in the way. Now, let's see if that's, no, I'm off. Definitely off. I'm going to go this way with it to start. I think that might help. I would recommend cutting these slightly larger maybe. I didn't, and maybe I should have. Okay. It's sticking to me. Definitely off on that one. So I think on my original, I did not get enough glue around the spine. And because of that, when I folded it, it actually puckered here and there. And I did not like that so much. It was kind of like maybe I had air bubbles in it or something. Let me use this one. I think this will work better. Yeah, the bone folder works a lot better. I just had a crinkle there I couldn't get rid of. It's still there. But after seeing what happened the first time, I don't want it to do that. There we go. Okay. Now we need to let that dry. So while that one is drying, let's prepare our pockets and our front piece. Now the way I did the front piece was I figured out where I wanted this. And then let me turn it over because I'm going to mark on it. Might as well mark on the back side of it. What did I do with my purple pencil? There it is. This is just a fabric pencil. Wondering if maybe that one doesn't have enough on it. Maybe that was why I looked at one of the others that had more on the picture. Like this. Yeah, I think that's why I had a couple of these out. It's because I didn't want to. Yeah, see that one takes up a little more space. I like that better. It does cut that handle off, but I think that's okay. So we do want it to be right about, we want it to be above that. And there's the little handle on the measuring cup. I can see that now. Now I could just tear this fabric, but what I decided to do was to go ahead and cut it with pinking shears. I thought that looks good with that cross stitch I'm using. Okay, you can see that this is going to bring in absolutely the whole thing. So that is fantastic. I'm going to cut just to the outside of the line here. If it's bigger than the card, that's okay. On my original, it is larger than the card. And it actually turned out quite nice that way. So I think it was fine. Might be able to make some ruffles out of these. It'd be pretty ruffles. And if it ends up that I cut it too small, well, then we'll cut that down, won't we? We have a fix for everything. Oops. That one I cut wrong. So if I flip it this way, I'm going to see how crooked I got it. Let's see. Oh, it's not too bad. I think we're good. Okay, this is just going to go on here. Now, I did not stitch this directly to the book. I stitched around the card, and then I glued the card onto the book. I am a little bit I'm a little bit too short on that, so I'm going to just trim off some of my cardboard. It's not cardboard. Cardstock. And there we go. Now it fits fine. If a little bit is showing, that'll be fine. And I can see that I'm a little bit crooked on this. And since I'm eyeing that piece all the time, I'm just going to trim it slightly. And I think I'm just eyeing it because it's up in that corner, and that's where my eye is drawn to for some reason. Yes, that's better. It's a little crooked there. We'll get it straightened up as we go. Once again, I'm just going to use the glue stick because I am sewing the piece down. And I think sewing it down will be enough to hold it. Oops, get back up there. No cheating now. Oops. I've got too much at the top, you can see. Now you can see why I used glue stick. What I want up there is just the base of the pinking shear. It's the same way going down the sides. I just kind of want that and if it's over too much, we will take care of that just by trimming it out. I just got it cut a little bit too close there. There we go. Okay, that one will be ready to be stitched. Okay, so let's put these together for our sewing. Now we need pockets on the inside. And on this one, I chose to use, that goes on the outside. My pockets are going to go here and here. I don't want them to go clean through because I'll have stitching here, which I was going to show you that. Just a minute. So this is one of those jelly rolls I got at the quilt shop. And these are approximately 2.5 inches wide, which is about what my pockets are here. And I cut my pockets to actually fit this. So we need to cut 2 of these. And I cut them a little big, and then after I was sure that they were down where I want them, then I cut them to fit better. So approximately right here. Nice thing about the gingham pattern is it makes it easy to cut around them. And they are a tight fit on there too, let me tell you. Okay, this one I'm going to cut just over here. And then we'll glue those down. And we'll cut this little piece off over here. Might save that one. It says happy moments and has some little hearts. That's cute. Okay. Make sure I didn't cut too much off, and I didn't, so we're good. And once again, glue stick it because we're going to stitch around it. Ooh, my hands are stuck. Whoops, get back up there. Now the gingham, you don't want to overstretch, you just kind of want it to fit. Because if it already has some waviness in the pattern, which is good. But if you pull it too tight, of course, you'll get giant waves in it, and then it won't look like your gingham pattern. Now, for those of you that have embroidery machines, if you can use embroider on the card, this would be a great place to embroider something like recipes or Grandma Joe's cream corn, something. Whatever, you know, something like that. So anyway, it would be a great place to embroider whatever you want to embroider on there. I used to have an embroidery machine. I gave it to my son and daughter-in-law. My son has made some quilts, and so I passed it along to him because I just wasn't using it. And now I wish that I had another one, because there's so many things I'd love to embroider, just words and stuff for journals. Okay, there's that one. And I said, you don't want to pull too tight, and look what I'm having to do, because I misaligned it right there. Like, it's cut pretty darn close. Take the glue off the back, and there we go. I think I forgot to crease this one and check my folds. Okay, no, this is the one we creased. Yep, we did. So what happened on my other one? Well, when I folded my crease, it all buckled along here, and I think I didn't have enough glue holding it down, so it caused some creases to come up in my journal here. But what I did, that was how I got this idea to do this stitch all the way around. I went all the way around. You can see it here, and it goes over. And then I went down both sides. Went down, and then I went up. And that secured it down. That was the only place that absolutely bubbled up, was right in here, and then I had a crease right here. But I think it's okay. I didn't stitch really close to the edge when I started. I think that that works out fine. You can see your board over there. I don't have a problem with that. If you don't want to see the board, then I would say you might want to find a different stitch, or stitch a little closer together and closer to the edge. Now on these, I did stitch much closer to the edges. The reason I did that was because I wanted this stitching to match up very closely with this stitching. And that was my reasoning for it. Okay, so now we're on to making our back pocket. And let me keep these together. Let me move this. I'll just put it right in here for now. I'm going to use this on the back of this one. And I want to make sure my words go upwards. So if I do it that way and this way, if I do it upside down to me, it's going to be okay. So I got my scoreboard, and I scored the first piece. Let me just double check myself. I scored the first piece, which is this piece that's folded over. Oops, sorry. I always do it upside down, don't I? At 3.5. And then I went 3.5, and then I went 3.5. 3.5 right here. And then I scored at 9. So 3.5 and 9. So right here. Three and a half. And then at 9. Oh, this is a 6 by 12 piece of paper. I just cut a scrapbook paper in half. And originally I went a 1/2 inch down each side, but then I changed that because I wanted it to be on the inside of my stitching here, not hanging over it. So it's 3/4. I put a, if you want to save on paper, you can cut off that one edge and save it. I'm not going to worry about that. So 3/4. And then over here we have 6. So if you do it at 3/4 right here, you're going to be wrong. You're going to come over here and score it at 1/4, 5 and 1/4. And that will give you 1, 2, 3/4. Okay. I know that's a little wide, but you know, it's okay, really. This is a pretty simple pocket. Okay, so let's start with this fold up. Make sure. And did I do it wrong? Did I do it wrong? Well, ours is going to go this way if I did it wrong. Yeah, I did it wrong. I did it upside down. So we're going to have the shorter pocket on the bottom this time and the longer pocket on the top. Because this should have been a 3.5 and this one should have been the 3 up there. Yeah. But we'll just do it opposite. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We just want the words going the correct direction. Because if I do it the other way, like I'd planned on it, then you'll see it's all upside down. But it's so close a measurement, it's a 1/2 inch difference, that it's not going to matter. It's still going to do the same thing, what just hold extra recipes. Now, on this fold up, I marked right here to show where I'm going to cut this whole piece off here, because we won't need all of that. The only place we're going to need it is right here, so we're going to cut it off here too. And I don't want to use my sewing scissors. I'm going to use my long scissors. We're going to cut just on the inside of this line, and then we're going to angle it right there, just slightly. Just like that. Then we're going to cut on the inside of this one, or close to, and then try to, looks like I'm on the wrong side of that one. Looks like I'm cutting right down the middle of it. Yep, I did. Would have been easier to see it this way. And I thought that looked crooked. Yep, that'll be fine. No, that still doesn't work. fold that one in and get it out of the way so we don't chop it off. Okay, fold those in and fold this one up, and now it covers those, so that's what you want. And I am just going to use art glitter glue on this one. I want it to stay together, so I'm just going to glue here, right down along there, there, back up, and then I'm going to fill in a little bit. And come over and do the same thing over here. And we're going to fold this up. And get your towel in case you have too much glue. Okay. Now, I am using a whale tail punch, and there's several people out there that can tell you how to cut a whale tail tab with a circular cutter. I cannot tell you how to do that because I tried and I couldn't do it. It's just me. I just couldn't. I could not figure it out. So, I believe that Martha Managross tells how to do that, and she probably has it on her playlist. Who else? I think Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah may have done one on it. I am looking for an extra piece of that paper. I'm stepping on my cord. I hope I didn't disconnect it. Oh, I almost threw that in the garbage. Going to move my garbage now. Oh, maybe this is, no, that's not it either. I'm looking for an extra piece of paper of this kind, but a smaller piece. Aha! And there it is. Look at that. Okay. Don't think it matters. Let's take Sweet Life. And then we'll do it this way. And the sweet's right on the middle, so it doesn't matter. Okay, find your center point if you want to kind of even this up. This is 4.5. So 2 1/4 is our center. And if you want to ink it up, which I keep forgetting to do this time, then this is the time to do that. I don't know where this is a little darker than I wanted to use, but I'll see if I can be gentle. So I don't overdo it. Now the other thing I did on the other pocket, I believe, was I trimmed these into a little 1/2-inch curve on there. So I will probably go ahead and do that too. Just vintage that up a little bit. I know this is going to be inside of my cover piece, so that's fine. And then on the outside here, and on the outside down here. Okay, as long as I'm gentle, I think it'll be okay. Half an inch. There we go. And sometimes it cuts just a little off, which is a little frustrating. But you just have to be gentle with it. You can't shove it in there too far. Okay, our center point. Oh, we got to ink this little guy up too. Once you ink, there's so much to ink. Sometimes I really love it. I didn't used to ink at all, ever. And then I got started. And I don't know, I fell in love with it. So that's my story on the ink. Now, like I said, there's two ways that you can take care of the hole for okay. Now, there's two ways to take care of the hole for this. We can use a piece of this and just make our little tab hole. Or if you have one of these punches like this, this might be in the wrong place. This makes this hole. So you can make one on a piece of paper and tuck it into it, or you can draw your little line here. I should have drawn it before I closed it up, but you just draw your little line across there, just like that. Find your center, which was 2 1/4. Now, it will end up punching. I liked it better when I used it on my other one and I was able to get the hole in the place I wanted it. But it reaches down quite far. But you just have to line up the little lines and then the top. Kind of like that. And then that tucks in there. It's a pretty quick way to make a... I need some different erasers. When they stop erasing, it means I have glue on the tips. And I need to get out some new ones. Let's try this one. Yeah, there we go. That's better. All right. So there's that one. This is going to go on the back of the pocket. And as you can see here, it holds a recipe very nicely. It's a great pocket for recipes. Very nice. Okay, so here we go. So this goes with this up here. So I need to take all this to sew. And in order to sew it, I think I want to get the other one prepped so I can sew it as well. There's no sense in just sewing one and then coming back over and doing the other one. And so we might as well get them both made and get them both sewn. Let me get rid of some papers here and some fabric. And let's bring in our other piece of paper. So we'll just work on this for a little bit. Our time is coming close to an end, so we may get some of this done anyway before I have to say goodbye. Now it's time to say goodbye. Not quite. Okay, so this is the outside, the mountain. And once again, the glue. Ooh! Gets all this glue around the edge, and my goodness. Whoops, got it on my table. Oh, I'll tell you, learning to glue in grade school, it was not much fun because I was as messy then as I am now with glue. Except for I never liked getting it on my hands. I remember doing my fingernails one time. You know, ugh, I didn't like it before I did it. I hated it after I did it. I don't mind getting my hands gluey now, but it's not something I purposely want to do. Although I will put glue on the back of my hand to help do some lace or something like that, because it makes it easier. Okay, well, let's see if I can do this right. Okay, we want it to be at the edge and at the top. Oh, I hope I did it right. Whoops. Man, this color, I love it. I absolutely do. But wowie, it drives my eyes batty. That was where I had a wrinkle in the paper. I mean, in the fabric. And I probably should have ironed it, but I did not. There's that side. Okay, now I can see that it didn't quite make it to the edge there. So what I want to do is pull it up just a little bit. I'm going to put a nice bit of extra glue there. And now I'm going to just pull it a little bit. Not much, because I don't want it to be overstretched there. But I do want it to get to the side. There we go. It's there now. See? Right there. Okay, so same thing on the inside. This is where I really made sure I put my glue on the spine, was where it was going to fold inward. See how far we can get. We have about 13 minutes left. So we'll see if we can get this one prepped, so when we come back tomorrow, you will see both pieces finished, and we will get our signatures totally prepared to go into the book. Well, we need an outside book cover, don't we? We don't have one yet. At least I don't. I hadn't decided if I wanted to use a hardcover book or if I wanted to use make my own. Just really had not decided yet. I am pressing that pretty firmly, and if I feel it start to bunch up, then I'm a little softer with it and work the wrinkles out if there's any. I didn't really take the time that I should have when I did my first one, but you know, everything's got a little learning curve in it, and you just learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Something that may work for me may not work for you. Oh, this is going to be so cool, you guys. So cool. Okay, now we have this one. I really love this image. And let's take a look at it this way. Maybe we can see through it a little bit. Can't. I thought maybe I'd be able to, but I can't. But that feels pretty good right there. I don't see it on that side at all. I do not. There it is, very lightly, but it's there. Might want to save that and make some kind of a ruffle, or tear it for the top of tags. You know, there's something you can do with it. Definitely. I find I really like to use them as tag toppers. See if she can talk today. Feels like I cut this one wrong. We'll find out. It will do. Well, let's see. Am I going to cut that down at all? I think I am, just slightly. There's no one or certain measurement that needs to be on it. But this needs to have this on it. And I'm going to cut the top off just slightly too, just to make sure I have more than enough. Paper in the garbage, fabric in a pile over there. Okay, let's put this one on. And like I said before, I don't care if this goes over the edge. I can either trim it or I can leave it. And I like the way it looked with the first one I did. There we go. I think that'll be okay. Looks like I really have it crooked right here though. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's just fine. If it doesn't fit right, I'll trim it down. I mean, obviously, it looks like it's going to need to be trimmed down a little bit. That's simple enough, isn't it? To me, I didn't care what the edge looked like as long as it had a little bit of raggedy on it. I kind of like the raggedy. And there we go. Okay, for this one, I picked out this for the 2 inside pockets. Let's see outside. There's the inside. And I'm just going to use the red. Now, I noticed on this one that it was quite crooked. See how it curves down there? I know that will catch my eye or any other eye that looks at it. So I'm going to figure out where it's starting to even out better, which is right about here. And I'm just going to cut it there. And I'm going to cut it here. It will get cut down after it is on the, after it's sewn down. I will go ahead and go back and cut it to the correct length. So that's something to be aware of, is if it starts with a big curve in it, you're probably going to see it all the way through. Okay, we are almost done, and almost done with the glue stick. I'm going to have to get more glue stick. I meant to buy it when I was at the store, but they were so excited to see human beings in the store that they kept saying, "Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you?" And I lost all track of that. And it was like, oh. So I got home and I was missing several items that I wanted to buy. But that's okay. They were just excited to see people, I guess. I really don't know. And me, I've been home alone with my hubby, and I was not too excited to see people. I was just kind of like, I'm used to being really independent here. I know this is your store, but I really just want to be left alone to shop today because I haven't been out of the house. But, you know, it was nice of them to offer to help. But I did get home without my my paper that I use to when I do my printouts. My you know, thicker printouts, and presentation paper is what I'm trying to say. So I got home without that, and I got home without glue stick, and there was a couple other things. But that's the way it goes. I guess once they say, can I help you, they should like put a sticker on you that says, I've been asked. So that the rest of them just kind of leave you alone. Once I get this sewn around, I will clip these down towards the edge, and then they'll fit here properly. And the only last thing we have to do for this set is to make our outside card. And I brought this one along for that. And I noticed when I cut the tab for that other one that this really matches that nicely, doesn't it? So 3.5 and 9, and then 3/4 inch. Oh, this needs to be cut down a little bit right here, because it's obviously not 12. It must be over 12. No, it's 12. What the heck? How come it didn't fit in there? It was off just slightly. There we go. Okay. Now, I want this to fold up here. So, 3.5 here. With the words going that way. And then 9. Then 5 1/4 on this side, and 1/2 inch on this side. No, 3/4 inch on this side. Did I scare you? Oh, sorry about that. No, don't do it. Okay, that's the top. This should be the bottom. Yes, I got it right this time. Thank goodness. If you have a pocket that you don't have to worry about, you know, it's not so bad. That's it's not the ones I want. These are the ones I want. Oh, I don't know what to do about my allergies. They are driving me nuts. I don't know if I got those in the right spot. I have a feeling I didn't. Okay. Guess it will do. Okay. So we're going to cut it right here. And I'm just cutting that part straight. It just becomes the top part of the envelope that way. Oh, that scared me. Okay, well that is our 1 hour. So, I am going to finish cutting this piece. And then I will finish it on my own. There. Now, if you really don't like what you have right here, you can fix that just by covering it with something else. If you want to put your old stoves there, you can do that. So I do think I will cover mine right there, and maybe I can use a little bit of this to put there, and then I'm going to use this as the tab as well, because I thought it matched this so nicely. I will probably use that punch to punch that in there? I wonder. Ooh, look at that. If you turned it upside down, you could see right where you want to go. Look at that. Oh, I like it. Something new all the time. But I know it's going to have to be right in here somewhere. And I know it's going to have to be at 2 1/4. Oh, clear down here is where I needed to put it. 2 1/4, right in there. So if I went like this and lined that up. Oh, this bottom part has to go right on the line. Just like that. And there it will be. Then I don't know if there's anything you could do with those. They look big enough to use on something, don't they? Like the top of a something. Like some little tiny page markers. Okay, time to go. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow. We will get the rest of our signatures totally picked out tomorrow, and I will bring along whatever we're going to make the book cover out of, and we will start on that. All right, so we're almost getting there, and I need to post recipes on my Facebook page. I'm not liking having a Facebook page, to be honest with you. I like to just advertise my own stuff there, but I'm not sure I'm into having my own, keeping track of a page. I would rather do a blog and have things available for you, and put JPEGs there that you can copy and print out. So I may go back to my blog and do it that way. I'm just not real keen on the too much on the Facebook page, because I don't have time to babysit it and you know, things like that. So just letting you know, I'm thinking about not having the Facebook group page, and nobody's signing up for it anyway, which is fine. But I want a place that I can just go ahead and post recipes and pictures and attachments that you can download and have for your computer, your printouts. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. So everybody hang in there, and bye. Thanks for being here.